There. Now he's good to go.
And 2 months left from Memphis, Tennessee. Rich Homie Juice,
AJ Gray, man of the hour. Going to be hard to devour. I mean, Tom Lawlor has seen a lot of competition. I mean, inside an octagon, inside a ring, all over the country, all over the world. But has he ever seen anything like AJ Gray?
Well, you know, you talked a little bit about the ride to get to this match. The men that competed in an effort to get to this title opportunity right now. But in life, it's not about the journey. As wild as it was, it's not about the journey. It's about the destination. And right here, right now, we have reached the destination. And that's the moment now to crown the first ever Black Label Pro Champion. Will it be AJ Gray or will it be Tom Lawlor?
Wow, what an interesting take on Homer's The Odyssey there from Gregory Iron.
I'm a very intelligent man. Can't you see I'm wearing glasses?
I see it, Greg. I see it. We all see it, Greg. Black Label Pro Champion crown here tonight. Tom Lawlor, AJ Gray, heads up, going for a fantastic strike. And Tom Lawlor, why would he even do that? Tom Lawlor is a grappler. Tom Lawlor is a UFC superstar. Tom Lawlor wants to get you on the ground. He wants to pound you. He wants to twist you.
But you know what? AJ's been training a lot with Dominic Garrini. Garrini has been showing him some of the holds, some of the strikes, some of the techniques he's learned from MMA. He's learned from doing the jiu-jitsu, and he's really, and I think AJ Gray's going to try to apply that tonight and use that in an effort to win the Black Label Pro Championship.
That's great. You know, Dominic Garrini, heck of a competitor. Obviously, earlier tonight he was victorious, a purple belt, but not, I mean, I hate to say not on the same level as a UFC competitor. I mean, it is a league of their own with these guys that go in there to the octagon like that. And arguably has the advantage here because of that experience. But AJ Gray is at this moment, he's on the ground and he's chain wrestling with him.
Here's something interesting. I was talking to Dominic Garrini earlier today about some of the training techniques that he's been showing AJ Gray. And one of the things he told me was he told AJ to stay away from the high-flying stuff, to try to beat him with the ground and pound. And I kind of questioned that when I was talking to Dom. I mean, you would think that doing the high-flying maneuver is something that Tom Lawlor doesn't do too often. That would be more of an advantage. It might throw off the striking game and the grappling game. Wouldn't you agree?
I would think you'd think that, you know, or bring out the best in him. At the same time, we could go to the other side of the coin of it, you know?
I mean, I guess what it comes down to is Dom is confident in his abilities, and he's bestowed his abilities on AJ Gray. And you know what? I think it's showing pretty well right now.
Well, he's lucky to have Dom out there in his corner right now. I mean, as you saw Josh Bishop out there in the corner of Tom Lawlor, and you always want to have an even odds in these kinds of situations. Anything could happen. Tom Lawlor now wrenching away at that ankle and leg of AJ Gray. Smart enough to lay in those kicks there like shotgun blasts. I mean, every time a UFC competitor like Tom Lawlor kicks you or chops you like that, there is some real raw intensity there.
Well, what it comes down to, you know, you don't need to be a wrestler or a UFC fighter to know that, you know, when you're in a fight with someone, if you pick a body part and you work on it long enough, you're going to wear it down, and eventually it's going to become immobile.
He's definitely trying to immobilize AJ Gray, every part of him right now. Wraps him up in the ropes, punches him in the face, chops him in the chest. I mean, he's slicing and dicing right now. Tom Lawlor, he's absolutely running the show here at the moment.
Hey, man, you got to chop down that tree sometimes. It started with the leg. hit him a little bit in the abdominal, got him a little bit in the neck and the throat.
AJ was able to create some distance here, pushing it back, big knee to the face. He's hip-hopping, he's ready to roll. Is he gonna be able to do something with this? Drops down, trips up Tom Lawlor a little bit, up and over. He's got those tassels flying in his face. Tom Lawlor doesn't know where he's at, now he's on his back. As AJ Gray was able to hit that big drop kick, and he's pointing to that top rope right now.
You got to remember, AJ Gray, he's a little bit thicker, but when given the chance, he can move around like any cruiserweight on this show tonight. I mean, he's an incredible athlete.
Absolutely, and I was a little confused when I was pointing at that top rope there. Didn't choose to go to the top rope.
I think what happened there, he was alluding to the top rope, but Dom's trying to tell him to avoid it. Okay. Dom doesn't want him going up top.
You're right. You got to keep an eye down there on that coach. Yep, you have no idea what Dominic Green's trying to tell AJ Gray right now.
Lawlor's.
Oh yeah, Josh Bishop. Lawlor's entourage distracted. Why is Dominic not doing anything here? Dom, come on, get Bishop out of here. Do your job, enforce your buddy. Tom Lawlor throwing AJ Gray right into that steel ring post in the corner.
And now he can work back on that leg, and that could have been a critical mistake for AJ Gray.
Oh God, is he wrapping his leg up inside that barricade?
Oh yeah, he is.
Well, this is a main event bout here. I'm sure that the referees let this one go as we want to have a clean, definitive first ever Black Label Pro champion.
Look, don't think that Tom Lawlor didn't come into this match with a strategy. He came into this match with the opportunity to become the man here at Black Label Pro. Do not think he's going to leave this building without that championship around his waist.
You would never see this happen in the UFC. You would never see Tom Lawlor take his opponent's leg and shove it through that steel cage.
But this isn't the UFC. This is Black Label Pro. And when you have the opportunity, you take it. And if you don't get the opportunity, you make it.
Well, Tom Lawlor pointing his head like he's smart, like he's a real somebody here. AJ Gray fighting his heart out right now. He's trying to win this thing legitimately right now. He's getting double teamed here by Bishop and Tom Lawlor. Tom Lawlor, you would think, would be the pedigreed athlete who would try to keep this thing on the mat, wrapping his leg up in steel like that. I'm surprised by Tom Lawlor's actions, quite frankly. And he's wrenching away at that leg that he just had wrapped up in the steel barricade outside just a few moments ago.
You know what? I don't know why you're so surprised by these actions. I mean, what it comes down to is you become the Black Label Pro champion. Not only do you make history by being the first ever champion, you make more money, okay?
Absolutely.
It's all about the winner's end of the purse. You lose the match, you get paid, but you don't get paid as much. You become the champion, you become the top guy, you get more dinero, and that's what it's all about. This is a business, Nick. This is a business.
I agree. Obviously, Tom Lawlor's got his sponsors. He comes out here, proudly shows them off. He's made business deals. AJ Gray is looking to get to that level in his career where he can make bigger money. And that's why I say AJ Gray, he's probably the hungrier, scarier guy in this belt right now because I think he may want this just a little bit more than Tom Lawlor.
AJ Gray may be hungry, and that's fine, but look, AJ Gray is one of those young kids that throws around the term business when talking about wrestling, not even understanding how to conduct business, okay? What it comes down to is you got to conduct your business the right way, and the goal is to A, win however you can, and then B, make money.
Wow, this is like a modified deathlock, ankle lock.
And he's methodically picking apart AJ Gray piece by piece, tearing apart that leg, keeping him grounded, so even if he does consider going to the top rope for that Phoenix Flash, it's not gonna happen. He's gonna keep him on the ground, and that's where Tom Lawlor's thrives.
It is wild to see a guy like Tom Lawlor taking these grappling UFC skills into a ring like this. I mean, I don't think a lot of wrestlers, AJ Gray included, are going to be prepared for a maneuver like that. I don't know how you're prepared to counter something like that.
I mean, you really can't. You just got to hope for the best. Like I said earlier when I was talking about Dominic Green's match, these MMA fighters entering into the pro wrestling business, they're kind of changing the game. They're kind of changing the strategies of how mat grapplers and high flyers, they approach their opponent.
Got that crossface locked in. AJ Gray knew what to do with that, and Lawlor was going for a single leg Boston Crab, it looked like, but AJ Gray able to get to the ropes there, and Tom Lawlor is going to have to get him up to his feet and find something else to do with AJ Gray here.
Look, AJ Gray, he fought long and hard to get here. He's got a fighting spirit. He's got an incredible heart. But sometimes, even though the heart is strong, the body is weak. The body falls apart. And I got a feeling with the way Tom Lawlor is picking him apart, the body is going to fail on AJ Gray tonight. And you're going to see Tom Lawlor walk away the first ever BLP champion.
Well, Tom Lawlor right now, again, going after that leg. He has stayed consistent on that left leg of AJ Gray. Now he's got him in a grapevine tied up there. Wrenching back at the ankle and the knee, and also right at the hip there. Really 3 points of pressure that Tom Lawlor is applying to AJ Gray right now. He releases the hold. I'm not really sure why. Maybe he's got something else in mind here for AJ, but AJ reaches for the ropes now.
I know we're paying attention to the action in the ring, but you got to pay attention on the outside too. Tom Lawler's entourage, Dominic Green's keeping a close eye on him. Make sure there's no interference coming into play from that side again.
Wow, that's a great way to bust a capillary right there. AJ Gray, I think, getting fired up by these chops from Tom Lawlor.
Well, he's got to find his second win real quick if he thinks he's going to walk out of here with that belt.
Oh, the sunset. Tom Lawlor.
And there's that
there
ground
he is,
and pound.
exactly, absolutely. That is a position that UFC fighters like to find themselves in. Now working on that right leg with that single leg Boston Crab, was able to finally cinch it in. AJ Gray in no man's land now, right in the middle of the ring. How is he going to be able to get his way out of this one?
I mean, he's in a tough predicament, and what it comes down to is like, do you tap out and live to fight another day and throw away the opportunity to become the first ever champion? Because if he doesn't tap out, that leg could be tore apart, and he could be out for months. Not only does he lose paydays tonight, not becoming the champion, he loses all the paydays in the future until he comes back to the ring. He's risking a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Tom Lawlor, he's risking a lot too. I know Tom Lawlor wants to be the best pro wrestler in the world, but one bad injury and his career in UFC is over.
Oh, when you talk about risk, I mean, come on. If he loses to a young kid like AJ Gray with all the training and all the experience that he has under his belt between the UFC and professional wrestling, I mean, how's Tom Lawlor going to be able to look at himself in the mirror? How's Tom Lawlor going to be able to face his critics if he loses to a young kid like AJ Gray?
He's filthy. I don't think he's worried about looking anybody in the face. He's obviously throwing the rule book out here tonight as he's taking every cheap shot and opportunity he possibly can to get one over on AJ Gray, including his buddies on the outside running distraction for him. Throwing in those chops, he's back to going after that throat area. Big shot from AJ Gray.
The kid's fighting back, though. The kid's fighting back. You got to give him that.
You got to give everything, every moment of a fight like this against a guy like Tom Lawlor. Tom Lawlor with that exploder suplex up and over the shoulder. AJ Gray now laid out in pain, and Tom Lawlor smells blood. He signals it's time to slice the throat and get her done.
Lawler's lucky he got that suplex because you could see AJ Gray was going for that lariat, and he takes a lot of pride in that lariat. He likes to lay it in when he hits it, and it's a good thing he didn't get that shot in there on Lawlor.
Lawlor, earlier we saw KLD take some competitors to the Suplex Township. Looked like Lawlor was looking to get some suplexes in of his own. Instead, those big knees right to the chest of AJ Gray, who fired back with a diving lariat. Both men down. And who will be the first to get to their feet here? This is really where we start to see who might be able to get a leg up. Who might be able to cobble together a path to a victory. I mean, they've given it all. They've lost a lot of energy. They're in a lot of pain. You gotta have to get to your feet. You're gonna have to try to strike first here if you're gonna put that game plan together.
Well, you talk about who's gonna get a leg up right now. AJ Gray is a leg down, so he's at a very, very bad disadvantage right now. If your lower body isn't functioning at 100%, you're gonna have some problems right off the rip.
Tom Lawlor gets knocked upside the head there with a big kick from AJ Gray. A slice of the throat of his own. Oh, wow! A clothesline to the back of the head. And AJ Gray slumped over in the corner. Tom Lawlor saying, let's go up top, baby. Gives him a little electric chair lift here.
I wonder what he's got in mind that's very uncharacteristic for Tom Lawlor to try to do anything high-flying or off the top rope.
I gotta think he's looking for a top rope suplex here.
You could be right. That could be exactly what he's going for.
He was suplex earlier, and AJ was able to cut him off. I think it's a bit of revenge here. And there it is. Look, Tom Lawlor is going to try to hit a German suplex on AJ Gray off the top rope.
Well, I'll tell you this. If he hits that, you can ring the bell, call it a night. Because we're going to have a new champion.
He'll ring AJ Gray's bell, that's for sure. You drop a man. Oh, my God! Whoa! I didn't think that he had it in him. I mean, it's done. What kind of a point do you have to want to do that to another human being? At what point? I mean, where have you been pushed? to have no fear of dropping somebody on the back of their neck, risking serious neck injury.
I mean, that's underhanded, that's dirty. Quite frankly, that's downright filthy.
Absolutely. Yeah, sorry to steal your thunder there. I should have given you the moment. I knew where you were going with that one. AJ Gray now back in that corner, and Tom Lawlor, I think if it's up to Tom, I think he keeps hitting these Germans off the top until AJ Gray can't walk anymore.
How many of those is AJ going to take? I mean, look, this kid could have a long, bright future. Do you really want to end that tonight with a leg injury, with a concussion, with, God forbid, death? I mean, this is some serious crap off the top rope here.
Wow, Tom Lawlor with a sleeper hold on AJ Gray, trying to knock him out on that top rope so he can hit another German off the top.
He's trying.
Oh, he wants it. Whoa! Up and over, AJ Gray able to get an extra spin in there, land on his knees. Didn't seem to take any impact, and now he's got Tom Lawlor tied up all upside down in the corner. And what's AJ Gray looking for now? He was trying to hook him from behind. Very difficult whip. Wow, Tom Lawlor, now he finds himself up.
Splash Mountain!
Oh, wow, a big crucifix into a sit-down powerbomb.
Where did he find the strength for that?
And AJ Gray, I'm impressed. I mean, I know that AJ Gray came here tonight to hang with one of the best fighters in the world and maybe even try to beat him here. I mean, what a story it would be for AJ Gray to come in here, Crown Point, Indiana, huge stakes, making his way through the Darkest Timeline Championship Tournament Phase 2 to find himself in the ring, the heart of the den of the Lion, with the Lion himself, Tom Lawlor.
Wait.
What's Dominic
Dominic's up on the apron. He's telling him to get off the rope.
What are you doing, Dom?
He's telling him to stick to the strategy.
AJ, this is not the time for couples therapy, all right? AJ Gray almost taking out his buddy Dominic. Tom Lawlor with a kick to the chest.
Wait.
No, wait, whoa! Double underhook. Into a pedigree. Wow! And that is, of course, one of.
That might be game over.
Wow, what chutzpah there from AJ Gray to be able to kick out of a pedigree from Tom Lawlor. I mean, the pedigree, obviously one of the most devastating maneuvers in all of professional wrestling, delivered by, again, a UFC superstar, Tom Lawlor. And Tom now, he's not getting the double underhook. He looks like he's trying for a power bomb or a pile driver.
Could be a pile driver.
Right? AJ Gray pitches him up, flapjacks him right in the middle of the ring.
Interesting counter there. Big lariat!
It takes Tom Lawlor.
It's that signature lariat. Incredible.
Wow.
But can he get the cover?
We're going to find out. He's got to roll his corpse over right now, which he seems to be doing. And the referee...
There you go.
The referee was...
Lawlor, very smart, rolling out of the ring. Rolling out. I don't know if that was positioning or just instinct that he rolled out.
Lawlor's entourage on the outside giving some advice. I'd give him a glass of water here right now. Give him a neck rub. The man needs it. Got a little mid-match momentum here. AJ Gray is decidedly in control, and Tom Lawlor's crawling for the curtains right now.
Dominic trying to get the entourage out of there. Whoa. He's going up top. AJ's up on top. High-risk district. Whoa!
Huge dive to the outside, and he takes out everybody.
Almost took out the damn lighting ring.
Including Dominic Guarini.
Reckless.
Let's go. Come on now.
I guess
Unbelievable.
AJ Gray thought that he needed to take out everybody, including the men at ringside, if he was ever going to get a fair shot at Tom Lawlor here.
Well, hey.
And now he's got that chance. Tom Lawlor back in the ring before AJ, as AJ rolls him in.
When you got something at stake like the Black Label Pro Championship, the first ever champion being crowned here tonight, you're going to put it all on the line. Mind, body, spirit. And now AJ Gray, he's going against the plan. He's going to the top rope. Could he be going for that Phoenix splash?
You know he is. Wait, what is Dominic Guarini doing?
Wait, what the hell is that?
Fred!
What the hell is that?
I can't believe this.
Whoa. What?
Why would Dominic Guarini do that? You said how he's been trying to help AJ Gray prepare for this bout, teach him his MMA skills, and now Tom Lawlor, he's got
Oh, come on.
number 4.
No, that can't be. No.
Modified, it looks like either some kind of modified figure four. He certainly applied it precariously. And AJ Gray, after having his friend.
He's trying to get to the ropes.
Oh my God, and there it is. He taps out. AJ Gray couldn't keep it together. And Tom Lawlor, filthy Tom Lawlor, with what I guess could be considered a filthy victory. And there you have it, your first ever prestigious Black Label Pro Champion, filthy Tom Lawlor, and Dominic Carini, come on, you piece of garbage. You came out here tonight, you tried to show your friend AJ Gray some support, and then you turncoated on him. Yeah, you Benedict Arnold him.
Your winner and the first ever Black Label Pro Champion, Filthy Tom Lawlor.
Absolutely disgusted. Tom Lawlor, you could have come in here. You didn't even need anybody at ringside. Could have beat him on your own.
I'm speechless. What's the reasoning behind this? Was this something that was premeditated all along? Did Dominic get upset that AJ was going against his strategy? Is he mad that he got hit by that dive? What was the deciding factor in this tournament?
Proud of yourself and your new friend, Dominic Carini. Look at this, all three men here, brothers in arms. We were looking for a fair fight, a real defining moment in Black Label Pro history, a true champion to be crowned. And Tom Lawlor comes in here, and he uses every shady trick in the book. He's obviously got the fix in there, paid off Carini, bribed him, offered him a spot. Gonna get him a sit-down meeting with Dana White? Is that what he's gonna do?
Look, we don't know what it came down to. There could have been several factors that came into play here with however Dominic's feeling right now. I'm very shocked and taken aback by this turn of events. I'm speechless.
I mean, congratulations, filthy Tom Lawlor. Big winner here tonight, Tom.
Well, no matter what, at the end of the night, we'll always remember that the first ever Black Label Pro Champion is filthy Tom Lawlor. No matter how he did it, he got the job done.
Filthy Tom Lawlor, everyone. Your first ever Black Label Pro Champion. And don't get me wrong, Tom Lawlor is a premier world-class athlete. His bout at Black Label Pros, the Darkest Timeline Championship Tournament with Matt Riddle, certainly a defining match for the promotion, a defining match in all of pro wrestling history. But tonight, I can't say that I am proud of Tom Lawlor's actions, and I am certainly not proud of Dominic Carini. I can't believe he would do something like this to AJ Gray, a man who has worked his whole life to get to this point.
I mean, take a look at the crowd. They're stunned. They're shocked. I don't think anyone saw this coming tonight. And you just gotta feel for AJ Gray. He gave his heart out there, but unfortunately, he will not be walking out of here as the champion.
Well, I want to thank everybody who came out here on the Sports Auditorium tonight for Black Label Pro's first of the month.
It's just the beginning, baby. It's just the beginning of Filthy's reign at the top. Here, along with the Bone Collector Dominic Carini, the Miller Beach bad boy Josh Bishop. Get ready, baby, because things are getting nasty. Things are getting dirty, and they're gonna remain